Okay, so before we start, let me quickly introduce myself. This is Sasmitha. I'm going to be your course instructor. I have around 8 years of experience into data science and big data analytics. I'm currently working as a senior data scientist in one of the leading MNC. Prior to this, I was working with other organizations starting from investment banks to service-based companies. I had completed my master's from Triple IT in computer science. My major was data science, so I have few research publication. My research area was machine learning on cloud and using Apache Spark, right? On big data platform, I have created a recommender engine during my master's day. And training wise, I have completed almost 20 to 20 plus 25 plus batches. So yeah, this is my short background, and coming to the syllabus and everything we will discuss. But let us first see what is the agenda for today, right? Let me. I think my screen is already shared, so let me take you through the agenda, right? So what we are going to cover today is basically it's mostly a question answer session rather than me talking, because I know before you enroll for this workshop you have some idea, right? Why you are enrolling, mostly because you have an interest in artificial intelligence, and you must have gone through few of the articles and blogs, right, in internet. So mostly it will be a question answer session where I can answer most of your queries. I'll try my best to answer most of your queries. But prior to that, I'll also give you a brief idea about what is artificial intelligence, who is a data scientist, and difference between data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, and then what all are the application or use cases. And then we will discuss detail about the course, and then finally I'll be taking questions. So to start with, the very first question is what is artificial intelligence, right? This term is kind of very famous nowadays. Like everywhere you can hear this, starting from your Google Nest or Alexa to your face detection in mobile phone to your recommendation in Amazon or to your everywhere. When you open Google, Google itself, search engine, it's application of information retrieval. So every like every platform you go today, you can see artificial intelligence is implemented. So it's a very obvious question, what is artificial intelligence is all about. So we'll be discussing about artificial intelligence first. So artificial intelligence is a some kind of superset. Whatever we are covering, like let's say data science or machine learning or NLP or deep learning or computer vision or image processing or let's say information retrieval, subcomputing, everything is a part of artificial intelligence. If you combine everything, you will find a superset, right? So artificial intelligence is the superset within which all of these subsets are fitting. So so you go to recommendation engine, that's the application of machine learning. Your Alexa, Google Nest, all of these are application, all of these are implementation of natural language processing and speech processing, speech to text processing, speech recognition. Coming to your face ID detection, right? Computer vision, object detection, all these are computer vision applications, right? So if you combine everything, you will be getting whatever you are getting is called artificial intelligence. So it's the mother of everything, right? And just give me 1 minute. Yeah, sorry. So that is what artificial intelligence is all about. So it's a superset of everything. So whatever you are looking around you, starting from robotics to machine learning to deep learning to your computer vision to your soft computing, information retrieval, everything combined together is called artificial intelligence. And we all know where the world is going. I can show you some applications of artificial intelligence which will uh, make you believe that in next 5 years most of the jobs which as a software developer or software test engineer or other thing, like let's say support engineer, we are doing right now will be automated by artificial intelligence systems, right? um, Even artificial intelligence itself is going to be automated by artificial intelligence systems. So we'll discuss about that later part of this course, uh, later part of this today's lecture. But the first thing is, what is artificial intelligence? I think that is clear to everyone right now. So once we understood what is it, artificial intelligence, it's like a ocean. So many things are there. It's a research and development field. Every topic in artificial intelligence itself is so vast that people do PhD, maybe in a very small part of it. Let's say machine learning is a subset from artificial intelligence, and inside machine learning we have multiple sub branches like supervised, unsupervised. Within supervised we have regression, classification. So you can spend years and years by researching in very small subset of the superset, right? So it's so vast, it's the ocean. So it's not possible for us to cover everything or to be expertise ourselves in everything. So the common thing is, first you understand about all of this. Like at high level you understand what is machine learning, at high level you understand what is NLP, what is robotics, what is computer vision, what is soft computing and all, and then you choose one thing out of it, or maybe more than one thing. Let's say two or three things you select. Let's say your interest lies in NLP or your interest lies in deep learning and NLP. So you pick two or three things and try to make yourself expert in that area and proceed in that particular direction, right? So that's the common thing every data scientist do. So when you join a company as a data scientist, maybe initial 1 to 3 years, you will be spending most of your time exploring and understanding all of this. And then finally, after 5+ years of experience, mostly you'll be picking one thing out of it, let's say computer vision or deep learning or something or NLP, and try to expertise in that particular direction. So uh, that's the kind of common idea. Okay, so once we understood what is artificial intelligence, who is a data scientist, right? Because this course is all about data science. So we'll talk about data science now. It should be very clear to you that data science is a subset, right? Artificial intelligence is a very big term. Data science is a subset, right? It's one of the branch of artificial intelligence. So who is a data scientist? I quote, this quote is from a very famous personality. So according to her, data scientist is nothing but person who is better at statistics than any software engineer and better at software engineering than any statistician. So what this particular sentence means, right? So when you go, I mean, 2 years, 200 years, 300 years, even more before to that, there were statistics, right? Even till today also there are statistics. Statistics is not old, sorry, not new. It was there, it is there, it will be there. So data scientist is a person who can actually implement the theoretical knowledge in solving business problem. In my term, if I call, uh, data scientist is a person who can implement what is there in the theoretical books, right? If you use that, or if you can implement those theory in order to solve business problems, you can be a data scientist, right? You can be called as a data scientist. But we will understand who is a data scientist in a detailed way. Basically, a data scientist is somebody who can be expert in all of the data science project lifecycle. He or she must have the skills to kind of contribute individually to complete and deliver to completely deliver one project, starting from very scratch, like data collection phase to data validation and deployment phase. So there are different life cycle. When you go to data science project, you will find that the first step is data collection. So for any data science project, the input or the main thing is data, right? So the data collection is the first stage. Data can be any type, right? Structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. Structured data, I think we all know how to handle structured data. I think we don't need a data scientist to handle structured data. There are already so many SQL experts who can database experts who can handle structured data. Mostly data scientists are people who are more focused on semi-structured and unstructured data handling, right? They have skills which they can use to handle semi-structured and unstructured data. Semi-structured means, let's say, JSON, XML, CSV, TSV, Excel, all these formats. And your unstructured means all the videos, images, and text kind of data, right? So if go to internet, most of the data you will find online. We are spending so much time nowadays, and what we will get is not a structure kind of data, right? When we collect the online data, it will be mostly unstructured, or sometime it will be semi-structured, right? It's very rare that we'll find structured data from online, because most of the reviews, feedback, articles, job job post, whatever we are doing on internet is mostly text, or sometimes it can be JSON or XML. If you parse a HTML file, mostly it will be in a XML or tree kind of structure. So that is the if the data is of that, then maybe we need a data scientist, right, to handle those kind of data. Second is the volume of the data is also, I'm just talking about one, that is data collection phase. In data collection, I'm just talking about different types of data we discussed: structure, semi-structure, unstructured. And if it is semi-structured and unstructured, as a data scientist, you should able to handle those. Second thing is what kind of so everyone please unmute your video and sorry, unmute your audio, and you disable your videos. Yeah, so let me first talk. Once I complete whatever I want to discuss, and then I will give you enough time for everyone to question everything, right? Whatever is there in your mind, you can ask. So yeah, so I mean, who is a data scientist? So you should be a person who can handle any variety of data. The first thing is any variety of data. Variety means what? It can be structured and unstructured and semi-structured. Anything, any data, if I give you as a data scientist, you should be capable enough to handle that, right? That's the first criteria. Second thing is volume of the data, right? As a data scientist, you should not tell that, okay, I cannot handle gigabytes or petabytes of data, I can only handle some MBs of data. Any volume starting from MBs, KBs to gigabyte, petabyte, any volume. So if you go to companies like Goldman Sachs and investment banks, or maybe Amazon and Flipkart and all this e-commerce kind of platform, you will find they're generating huge amount of data. Google and Facebook, they're generating huge amount of data, right? As a data scientist, let's say you are building a recommendation engine for Google or Facebook or Flipkart, or you are creating a fraud detection platform for Goldman Sachs. So you cannot tell that I don't know how to handle, because it's so huge data. I personally, when I was working in Goldman Sachs, daily data, market data, when we were collecting, it was more than 500 terabyte. And just assume if we accumulate data for 1 month, so what will be the size of the data? So as a data scientist, you should be capable enough to handle any volume of data. Variety you should able to handle. Volume also you should able to handle. People think data collection is always like data will be storing in some databases and we will be writing SQL codes to kind of pull it, and think as a data scientist we should know SQL. But uh, I mean, SQL, pulling SQL, using SQL query to pulling data from databases is the most simplest task a data scientist will be doing. Uh, the most difficult task is if your data is in big data clusters, if your data is in HBase, or if your data is in MongoDB or NoSQL servers, or maybe it is present in internet like raw data. You go to internet, use web scraping and web crawling kind of techniques to pull the data. I mean, you should be capable enough at that level, then you can call a data scientist. It's not like only you know some SQL codes and you can pull. I mean, that a SQL developer can also do, right? So how you are different than a SQL developer? Because you have the skill set to collect data no matter where it is present, no matter in which format it is present, you can able to collect, right? Third is, I'm just talking about data collection, right? And we have different other phases to discuss: the volume, variety, and third thing is the value, like the speed of the data, right? You Like sometimes the data should be in a batch processing mode, like how we collect. Let's say data is present and we can collect the data, we have time, so basically we can go to internet, write a web crawling code which can collect the data. It will take, let's say, 5 days, 6 days, or maybe 1 month, and then we will process it. So that is batch processing. As a data scientist, you should be very much efficient in batch processing as well as streaming. So what do you mean by streaming? So let's say you are going to Amazon, so uh, will you be waiting for the platform, or Flipkart, will you be waiting for the platform for half an hour just to see the recommendation? No. The moment you logged in, immediately the algorithm should give you recommendation. It's called streaming, or real time data processing, data collection and processing, right? So that should also, you should be able to handle streaming data very near real time, not exactly real time, but near real time. Processing means streaming, like Spark streaming and Storms. Few of this, it's not mandatory, but I'm telling, I mean everything. Obviously, as a person, one may not be knowing all of this, but that is what expected from a data scientist, right? So this is data collection. So what you understood is, as a data scientist, you are a person. No matter where is the data, no matter which kind of data, like batch processing or real time, what is the size of the data, no matter what is the, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the volume or size, irrespective of the variety, irrespective is the time, you will be able to process, sorry, you will be able to collect it. That's the first skill set. Second skill set is, once you collect the data, what you should do, right? Let's say your data is there now you collected the data. Now what you can do? So now second thing is data pre-processing, right? So you should be able to clean the data, you should able to generate insights of the data. So if I give you some 500 terabytes of data, like, I mean, the stakeholders, the client, the customers are normal people who don't know artificial intelligence. So you are the person who are going to tell them stories from that data. You should be a person who will be taking that data, creating nice dashboards using Tableau or Spotfire or Power BI or Python, or no matter what tools you are using, but the outcome should be nice way of pre-presenting. So you should generate insights or values from the data, and not only generate, right? You are generating, so you should be able to communicate also. Nowhere, no people will tell you, but as a data scientist in my personal career, what I understood is, you should be a very good storyteller. No matter how good you are at programming and creating those insights, if you're not able to, presentation skills also matters a lot. Nobody will tell you, but your presentation skills, right? How you are, something is like you write a code and generate some visualization, you have generated some insights. How you are communicating, how simple, because all the results will be very complex. So a person who can work as a intermediate, right, intermediator or translator between data and generate insight, and tell the story about that data to the stakeholder, customers, or the people who are naive, who don't know anything about data science or artificial intelligence, right? So they can surprise, they will be surprised looking at your insights. Oh, okay, I mean, this is what happening. Let's say one particular customer is not at all happy with our services, right? I mean, for last 1 year he is giving negative feedback, and finally he went to our competitors, and we lose that customer because we could not know that, right? If a data scientist can generate a sentiment analyzer, and I mean, if you could have shown this graph 1 year before, maybe we could have reached out to that customer, we could have negotiated, we could have given some discounts or some bonus, so that we could save that churn customer, we could have saved revenue, right? So all these things, what they will do is, you will help the business taking decision, right, based on your insights that you are presenting to your stakeholder. Based on that, they will be taking uh, I mean decisions, right, business decisions. So you should be that person. So that is what data pre-processing and model building. So you should be a person who not only will tell you, so all the visualization that we are doing is on historical data, correct? All the visualization that you will show to the stakeholder is on historical data. So if you are only limited to presenting uh, whatever your historical information is telling, you are not a data scientist, you are a business analyst or maybe a data analyst. You are a data scientist. Not only you can tell the story about historical based on historical data, but you can also predict the future of the you can also predict the future, right? So that is where the data modeling, the third step comes, where you will take those historical information, you will apply algorithms, and you will try to understand the patterns, you will try to understand the trends, the seasonalities and everything. And based on that patterns, based on that understanding, you will project the future, you will forecast, right? Let's say you will forecast the future sales for a company. You are forecasting this particular user, what is what all other recommendation if you give to this user in future, he will like or he will click, right? Based on the past usage, you are projecting the you are telling giving any x-ray image, you are telling whether that patient is affected by pneumonia or not. Based on your past, you are predicting what is the price of a product, right? You are predicting what will be the sales, what will be the market shares of your particular company in 2021 first quarter, you are predicting. So third thing is a data scientist should have capability to predict the future, not only show the results from the past data but also predict the future using data modeling techniques, right? And final thing is, now every company is requiring full stack data scientist. Means what? Not only you just shown some codes, but you should be able to create a product out of it. So let's say one thing is I have just shown you some visualization graph, and then I have just shown you some results based on my model. I can predict, but how nicely you are able to deploy it, the deployment part of it, right? Maybe a little bit of cloud knowledge. If you have not, nobody's expecting expertise, right? From a data scientist, that's a additional thing, a good to have skill, not mandatory, but till model building it is mandatory, right? But deployment is additional. If you have, that is good. Like, do you have any Azure or AWS, little bit of cloud knowledge? Means any model can you take and implement in cloud, right? Or like, can you work at least with our web development team? Can you help them integrating your code, creating a GUI out of it? So those kind of things. So that is a data scientist. So now I think it should be very clear as a data scientist what should be your daily task, starting from data collection, data cleaning, data model building, model validation and deployment. So for each stage, we need different set of skill sets, right? For each stage, you need different types of skill set. So I can tell you, so this is a Venn diagram. So, but I can tell you what all are the skill set required in each stage, right? So let's say you are going for data collection. So for data collection, you should know a bit of SQL. I'm not telling you you should be expert, but how to select queries, simple queries, if you can write, that is enough. uh, MongoDB, HBase, only what you can learn is from different databases how to collect data. That's the only thing. And for text data, you should able to write code using Selenium, Beautiful Soup, right, to scrape the data from internet, right, from web text data. And pandas and numpy, all these things you should know from Python, where you can read any semi-structured data into data frames, right? So those all are the skill sets. For data pre-processing, you should know visualization tools like Tableau, Python. Mostly pandas is enough. Pandas and all that basic data manipulation, data analysis tool you should know. Coming to model building, you should know deep learning, machine learning, right? NLP, if it is text data, you should know NLP techniques, and packages like scikit-learn and PyTorch and all this, right, to implement the theory into practical. Those things you should know. And coming to a deployment, you should have a bit knowledge in cloud, AWS and all that. So that is a complete skill set as a data scientist you should have, right? Now, once you understand data scientist, I think these three terms are very confusing. Anytime you go to internet, you will find few jobs are data analyst, few jobs are related to data engineer, data scientist. People get very much confused within these roles. According to me, these roles are completely different with respect to each other. You should not be confused. Data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, these three persons are completely different with respect to each other. So as I said, data analyst is half data scientist. So half data scientist means what? You should stop yourself only in the historical data visualization. You, as a data scientist, I mean, like a data scientist, data analyst cannot predict the future, right? So what all are the skill set required to become a data analyst, and the variety of the data you can handle is also limited. A data scientist can handle any variety of data. Give him small data, big data, streaming data, batch time data, is unstructured data, semi-structured data, any data you give, a data scientist can handle. But a data analyst can handle mostly structured data. Mostly unstructured text kind of data will not be, he or she will not be able to handle. Only the structured data kind of thing he can handle. And um, languages like Python, Java, these languages he will be knowing. And mostly the main idea or the main goal of a data science analyst is to represent or to create nice visualization dashboards showing the stakeholders or customer uh, the insights from historical data. So the data scientist will also be doing that, but obviously a data analyst is, that is the core job of a data analyst, the creating visualization, nice visualization out of historical information. A person who is very expert in kind of Tableau, Excel, right? Statistics, little bit of statistics is obviously required, right? Plus Java, Python, SQL kind of thing, right? So it's a, what I can say is data analyst is a subset of data scientist, or data scientist is way more advanced than data analyst. Coming to data engineer and data scientist are completely different professional. Both are very high on demand. Don't think that both are kind of I mean, data scientist is more superior than data. No, both the pay scale, if you check, both are equally getting the same paycheck. Whatever a data scientist, same paycheck you will get as a data engineer. I will advise, or maybe I will suggest, most of the people who are very fond of writing long software codes, I think this is the domain you should select. So big data, Java, Scala, Python, cloud, SQL, when I'm writing this, you should be expert in this. You should not only be knowing the basics, but you should be expert in big data, Hadoop, Spark, Storm, Kafka, right? Java, Scala, Python, AWS, Azure, SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB, HBase, all these things at a very expert level. So who is a data engineer? They will create the platform to work, right, for data scientist and for data analyst. So they will be maintaining that platform. Means what? You, as a data scientist, you have written a code and deployed. Who is going to maintain it? Something happens to the app, who is going to maintain it? That is the job of data engineer. So extraction, transformation, load, on a big data platform, and also maintaining the things, right? That is what a data engineer will mostly do. And obviously simple cleaning they should be able to do, right? Any table, just simple cleaning, duplicate records checking, and other simple operations they will be able to do. But don't think that the task is easier, because if you go to companies like investment banks and e-commerce, the data itself is so huge that handling and storing and managing those data is a huge task in itself. And as a data engineer, should keep upgrading yourself, like how fast the things are changing, right? Today 5 years back Hadoop was there, today Spark is there. After 10 years, who knows, Spark may not be there, something else will be there. So you should be a person, it's not like data science science skill set where statistics and machine learning, deep learning, once you understood, I mean, your experience will not be vanish in one day, right? It's because it's conceptual based, concept based, it's not tool based. Data science knowledge is concept based. Data engineering is mostly tool based. So obviously you should know languages, but apart from languages, rest all, let's say AWS is a tool, Azure is a tool, MongoDB is a tool, Hive is a tool, Spark is a tool. Everything that you are expert in is a tool. So entire experience lies on tools. So if that tool is changed, you are again will be considered as a fresher. So that's the only drawback I found in data engineering. But with respect to paycheck and everything, I think it's, I mean, equally important what data scientist will get. So I think you get a complete difference between all of these three. The last thing we will, so this is what I want to tell you, just a background before we go into the course and content and everything. So this entire, if you are clear, so this course is basically a course which will take you from zero level, from scratch level, like considering you have no background in even anything. Let's say you don't have any programming background also, you can enroll and take you to a level where you can, after completing this base intermediate and advanced, you can write 5-year plus experience in your resume. Very confidently I'm saying you can write 5-year plus experience in your resume as a data scientist. Till that level it will take. So this course is divided into two categories, intermediate and advanced. I can show you the syllabus for intermediate first, and then we will be going for advanced. But I will pause here before we start the syllabus. I'll take a I will take some questions with respect to what we discussed. If you have any queries, then we'll move to the syllabus. Any queries you have so far? Any questions? No questions?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Himanshu, and I'm a bit confused before taking up this course because, right, I'm not working from last 2 years. Earlier, I was working as a system administrator in the VMware on all those things.
Yeah.
So, should I take this course for this? For because everyone is, is telling me that it is on a means the probability of getting the job in data science right now is very high, rather than getting a job in other things. So, so that is my first question. And another thing uh, is that do I do we need to learn everything? Because like if I know Python, it is important to learn Java. If I know Spark, do I need to know the means if I know Hadoop, do I need to know the administrative part also, or only the that means query level of it will work?
Okay.
So
Um, Okay, so okay, I got your questions. Thank you. So
thank
I
you,
will
ma'am. Thank
answer your first, yeah, I will answer your first question. Okay, so nowadays many of you are taking this course because the main objective is to change your domain from any other domain to data science. And I can very, very confidently can tell you that these jobs will not be there after. I mean, this is a sad truth. Even as a data scientist, I am scared that the simple things in data science also is going to be automated. So in down the line five, if you go like 5 year forward, right, 2025, most of the simple tasks will be automated. I can tell you the app name. After this course you go and check those apps, something called GPT-3 and something called so many new apps, not apps, basically it's a recent advancement in AI. So if you go to GPT-3 and other tools, what they're doing is it's a kind of like how you are giving commands to your Google Nest or Alexa. The same command you can give, and the tool will generate codes for you. So I'll give you a simple example. What you can do with that, it has 175 billion parameters, almost whatever is there in the entire universe. In all of this data, the machine or the model is trained. So there is nothing, no task in this world that the machine cannot do. So it's an NLP application. So what I can give you some examples, and you can understand why I'm saying it so confidently. So if you just give any Excel sheet as input, and if you ask what is the maximum mark RAM has scored, in math subject. Like how you are asking normal text, if you write, you will get the answer. Go, just give any table, and if you kind of ask, find out all the rows where the cells are greater than 20, right, or cells are greater than 20%. Like how we write SQL queries, just we need to write text and the model will create the SQL queries in behind. Not only that, this is a small application. Even Python code is going to be automated. Like I will just write a Python code to kind of create a histogram or create a pie chart. This is the input, and the pie chart code will be written in the background. So all this visualization tool will not be there because the tool itself will be automated. Other examples are like you can create web apps. I was not believing initially, but when I tried the tool myself, I was able to believe. So you just write what you want. You write I want a submit button, and in the side submit button code will be ready within milliseconds, and submit button will be ready. So just by giving commands, how you're giving commands to Alexa or Google List, you can create web apps. So entire web domain itself is going to be, I'm not saying completely replaced by models, but obviously nobody can replace a human. But if I need 100 people now, maybe I will be needing 5 people, right? Are you getting? So that is the ratio for every job.
Okay.
Not only, even AI itself is going to be replaced. We will not be having place for simple roles. Let's say a simple machine learning model can be done automatically by the AI system. We don't need a data scientist or a low level data scientist, I rather say, who can only do some simple things like regression model or something which a machine can do. We need a data scientist who can kind of maintain those apps, or maybe a little more skilled than what the machine cannot do. So if you really want to secure, I mean, the world of IT is going to change in, so every 10 years we have a different age, right, in IT. So the age is already changed, and if you are not upgrading yourself, you are in the old age. So definitely there is a risk at your position. I'm not telling only artificial intelligence, but there are some things which are coming up. Definitely the top most is artificial intelligence, followed by IoT. Everything is related to IoT sensors. Every data will be processed using AI, but we need sensors and everything. So IoT is important, cloud is important, data science, AI is important. So these are the things which are coming. Virtual reality is important. So you need to come to the new world. You have to leave your old world and you have to come to your new world. If you think you can sustain by your old whatever skill sets, I think it's a, I mean, after 5 years it's too late for you to come to this new world, because many people will already be there, and you will have some experience. The older you are, it's not good for you. So the fresher, I mean, less experience you have, it's better to change the fields. So definitely, I mean, there is no doubt that the IT age is going to be changed in next 5 years, no doubt in it. Coming to your second part, so obviously if you have a break and you want to start something, why you want to learn which is already outdated, which has no value in market? So for all of those who have some gaps in between, or all of those who are freshers and want to start your career, so don't focus on those things which are outdated. Focus on things which are coming up, maybe artificial intelligence, virtual reality, IoT, cloud, right? These all things are coming up. So that is what I can say.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Okay, so let us, I'll pause and I'll again take questions, but let us understand the syllabus first, what we are covering, and then we will go to other questions. So the intermediate course is 1.5 months, where we will be starting from Python. Python is the language which we are going to see from scratch, and the initial module of intermediate is Python. We will be learning Python basic, Python advanced. Having said that, as I said, data science is vast, it's an ocean, so many things are there. I don't want to waste your so much time just by giving you Python tutorial. Otherwise it will be a Python development course rather than a data science course. So what I will do is, I will, the basic part of Python we will start from scratch, from software installation. From here we will start, but we will cover whatever is really necessary for this course, right? So we'll be covering variable operators, if else, the loops, data structure, list, tuple, set, dictionary, right? Followed by Python advanced, that is NumPy and pandas. In pandas, pandas is a very very important library in Python. We'll be going very very detailed. Almost everything whatever is there we will be completing. Followed by data visualization, how we can visualize our data using Python. So in visualization we have different plots. All these things we can do using Python libraries called matplotlib and seaborn. So this is the step number one, that is Python, basic Python, advanced Python, data visualization. And whatever we are doing, we will be implementing everything in project. So one project will be there where it is a data visualization project, which we can do using Python data structures, pandas, and visualization. This is the project where we will be implementing everything what we have learned. Then after that, the second thing is, the second step of this course is statistics, descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. We will be completing statistics, but as I said, this course is not only about theory. So every concept that we learn in this course, we will be implementing it in a real-time data set to understand how this concept can be useful to solve business problems, right? So we'll be discussing detail about statistics, starting from distribution, hypothesis, ANOVA, everything, followed by the last module, the backbone of this course is machine learning. So in machine learning, we'll be completing mostly linear regression, from regression, and then logistic regression, and then decision tree, random forest, right? And then feature selection techniques like PCA, principal component analysis, unsupervised machine learning technique like K-means algorithm. So this 5 algorithm, we will be going deep dive into math, followed by the implementation, right? For each of these algorithm I will be implementing in a project, so that you will be understanding where k-means can be used, where regression can be used, where classification can be used. We'll be it's a end-to-end project. So let's say I will take a data set, I will implement all the 5 process of data science, like collection, validation, cleaning, modeling, and everything. And also we will be discussing the theory, so the math part of it, which is very important when you go for interview. To clear interviews, you need to have a very good understanding in the theory side as well. So this is the intermediate course. What you're getting in intermediate is 3 things: Python, visualization, statistics, and machine learning. The second level of course is advanced course. Again, it's 1.5 months. Once you complete this, this is the advanced course. So at the advanced course, the major things that you will be getting from advanced is deep learning, NLP, and Apache Spark. So in deep learning, we will be focusing on algorithms like ANN, CNN, and you will be very expert in packages like PyTorch, Keras, right? So you can build your own deep learning models using PyTorch and Keras. Also, you will be getting a bit understanding about OpenCV and image processing, because one of the project that we'll be doing is image classifier, followed by NLP, right? So in NLP, we'll be mostly focusing on how to clean your data using NLP techniques, and then we will be building a sentiment classifier. Also, the data that we will be using for project called competitive intelligence, that's the project we'll be doing for NLP. The data is present in internet, so we will be scraping the data using Beautiful Soup and Selenium. So that's what you will be learning in NLP. And then finally the Spark part. So I'll be telling you how to create a big data cluster in AWS, and then a Spark details, how the architecture, what is Spark, how it is different than Hadoop, what is big data, and our first machine learning model, that is recommendation engine, we will be implementing on top of Spark. So in the second advanced course, whatever we are covering is, we are covering very 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 detailed, tit by tit, starting from math, implementation, theory, practical, everything, followed by one project, one real-time project where we can implement what we have discussed. So you can go detail, right, about if you really want to know the topics. So the advanced I will be modifying a bit. Many things we are covering, but I have not written here. So maybe I can share you the updated course content for advanced, but mostly this, the high level, whatever I said will be same. 3 things: deep learning, and then NLP, and then Apache Spark. So once you complete this 3 months course, you can take parallel way also, so that you can complete it in 1.5 months. But if you want to complete one after another, maybe 1.5 month for advanced and 1.5 month for intermediate is needed. And people who really want to just see what is AI, just to kind of understand, I think they can stop themselves in intermediate, right? But if your goal is to come to data science world, if your goal is to change your domain and crack interviews, I will highly recommend to take both of this course, because as I said, now you can understand. Once you take only intermediate and leave this, you are incomplete, because as a data scientist, the expectation is to handle any kind of data, any variety, any velocity, any kind of data. This Apache Spark will give you a big data understanding, so you can handle any volume of data. This NLP will give you understanding about unstructured data, so you can handle any variety of data. And this deep learning will give you how to improve your accuracy of any model, right? So it will kind of give you a understanding about computer vision, and kind of uh, like it will expand your skill set in terms of model building. So you can try deep learning models as well, not only machine learning, and whatever is giving you best accuracy, finally you can use that. So this is what the syllabus is all about. So I will take today's time to update it. I'll attach everything in a nice format, and maybe I can share it with you. You can have a look. Whatever is written, everything will be covered, uh, right, in this entire 3 month duration. So this is all about the syllabus and the, yeah, the intermediate and advanced. So yeah, so I will pause there. Any doubt, any queries you have with respect to intermediate? And yeah, new intermediate batch we are starting in this Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. IST. So everyday class will be there Monday to Friday, and everything is very detailed. So I can show you some of the notes. Let's say this is PCA. So this is my iPad notes. So I will be writing everything in the class, and you can see we are going very detailed, the maths and everything. It's not only the theory, like the implementation part. So this is the math, and followed by whatever we discussed, we will be implementing. This is the notebook. So we'll be doing that in the class. So this is the Python implementation of that particular theory, what we have discussed. This is the implementation of that. So like this, we will be completing the algorithms. This is just a high level overview, right? Similarly, for regression, we'll be going and understanding what is the detail, the theory part, and then coming to the implementation, one project, the theory and one project, the theory and one project. And then finally there will be final project, where it is a combination of everything that you have studied. Let's say this project may not be given to you, but this is just a kind of you can understand how the projects are. So let's say this is one project. I'll be describing all the steps, data collection, pre-processing and everything. And step by step, we will be implementing it. Everything one by one, we will be implementing it. So the final project is something where you will be implementing everything, entire thing that you have studied in this entire course. So in intermediate, one final project you'll be getting. In advance, I will say you are getting 3 projects, but again, out of those three, one project is very high level, that is competitive intelligence, NLP based project, right? Other projects are also important, but not very complex as compared to NLP project. So one complex project followed by 3 4 simple projects you'll be getting in each course. With that, you'll also be getting resume preparation tips. Means what, I will be writing and sharing some of the project, right, that I have done in my real time and my friends has done, right, based on my experience, research and prediction and all that. I will give you the writings also, and you can I will explain you those projects once the course is over, and based on the writings, uh, once you understand what that project is doing, no need to copy paste, but you can modify those writings according to your domain, according to your customer and client, and then you can prepare your resume. It will help you preparing your resume. And obviously interview questions are also there. Not only that, I will be sharing all the interview questions, real time questions that I have I have found when I gone through few of the interviews, or my friends and other students have gone through, right? So I'll be getting everything structured. Okay. So this kind of questions I will be sharing. So it will help you preparing the coding test. For any data science interview you are going, initial first round will be a coding test followed by face-to-face rounds. So the coding test, few of the companies coding exercise I can give you for practice. I think it's very slow, it's not opening. So you can take those questions, interview questions, resume tips, everything is there. So it's a complete things end to end. So I'll pause here. If you have any queries, I can answer. Yeah.
Ma'am,
So
I have
I
a
will,
question.
yes, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, ma'am, how much mathematics is required?
Yeah, mathematics is for intermediate, it is not required. But yes, having said that, basic mathematics, I will try to explain all the maths at a very, 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 very simple level so that everybody can understand. I will not say math is not required. It is required, but I will try to try my best to represent all those complex topics in simpler manner so that you can understand. Whatever math
Ma'am,
is required, it will be covered in the syllabus in the explain when am explaining any algorithm. I will be covering the math aspect of it as well. So I just given you one example. Let's say PCA is a it's a complete algorithm, right? So it's not like only showing you this is called Python implementation, the business how to solve business problem using the algorithm, where we have packages we can call, but this is called the math side of it. So each algorithm will have a math side of it. It is the maths are complicated, but as I have explained here, I'll try my best to make it as simple as possible so that you will be able to understand it.
ma'am, but why I'm asking that mathematics about the mathematics is that because it's whatever your means algorithm you're covering, you're telling the mathematics of those. But for
Yeah,
because we are going, if for example, means if I'm working, so I need to have a good mathematical skill, right? So I want to know how much skill I should be prepared before getting into the interview, so that right now I have a time I can prepare
yeah.
by side while going through this course. That was my idea of means approaching to this uh,
Yeah. So, okay.
curriculum.
So yeah, sure. So if you're for in advanced course, definitely some of the basic maths you have to kind of prepare yourself. We will be covering, as I said, most of the things, but at least let's say when I'm saying slope, right? The simplest term I can use it is derivative, but or let's say slope I am, or let's say sample or mean. So what I mean to say is you should be able to understand the basic terminologies in math, right? If somebody doesn't know what is a slope, what is a derivative, let's say dy by dx when I'm writing, if you have doubt in that, then I think I will not be able to explain it. That is your homework. You need to do that to come to my advanced class. But apart from that, if you are very clear in very very basic terminologies, right, very basic terminologies, then I think you should be able to understand whatever we are covering in the course, in the syllabus. You should be able to understand, and those maths are sufficient to crack any interview. I can guarantee you whatever
Okay.
maths we are covering, those maths are sufficient to crack any interview.
Okay. 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 Means the basic of what we have studied in 11th and 12th, that is more than sufficient
Yes,
to
yes, yes,
proceed.
yes. No, that is not sufficient to crack interview. Whatever is additional needed, we will be covering in the course.
Okay.
Those 10, 12th math is sufficient to understand what we are covering in the course,
Mhm.
right? That will be
Okay.
helping you understanding what I'm saying. Rating.
Okay.
So that is not
Okay.
sufficient. 10, 12 level of math is not sufficient to crack interviews. Obviously, advanced deep learning algorithm math is complex, but to understand what I'm saying in the class, I think 10, 12th level of math knowledge, if you have, that is sufficient. You can understand what I'm saying.
Okay. 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 Means I have to have gone through the 11th. Means once it's better to have a
Your
much,
voice.
but going okay going through the 11th, 12th mathematics is not a bad idea to just to have a brush up, and so
Yes,
that
yes,
it become
definitely.
easier to
Yes,
for me
yes.
to understand that.
Yes,
So
like you can brush up your skills in probability, right? Must have studied probability, basic probabilities. What
yes,
is
ma'am.
mutually exclusive events? What is a event? What is a all that simple things. You can revise your concepts in matrix. What is a but I mean I will cover all that, but obviously if you can revise and come, it will be very much beneficial for both of us, right? So like matrix
Exactly.
multiplication, addition, simple things like let's say when you go to what is a vector, what is scalar quantity, it's a constant vector, has a direction, all these simple things. What is a derivative, right?
Okay.
Very simple kind of linear algebra matrix things that we have studied in school days. I think that is sufficient to understand what we are covering in this course.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for giving me an idea because I was not very sure. So I got an idea that how much I should good in mathematics. So to pursue this course. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. I think you have covered all my doubts. Thank you.
No problem, yeah. So math is needed not for intermediate but for advanced. Definitely math is needed. Without math, I cannot cover any of the even a single algorithm from deep learning. So math is needed. But what I'm saying is to understand what I'm covering in the class, basic understanding. Like let's say what is a derivative. So what is a chain rule, right? Very very basic. Though we are covering it, but if you can refresh your knowledge, that will be helpful. And also I will be sharing notes about linear algebra and all. If you really want to go deeper into it, you can use those notes. Those will be helpful.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. um yes, so anybody like can show 5 years of experience in data science once they complete both intermediate and advanced.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. Is there any morning batch?
Sorry, actually, morning we are already one intermediate and one advanced batch is running. 6:30 to 7:30 advanced and 7:30 to 8:30 intermediate batch is running. So I think Abhishek. So I mean morning batch. I think will not start. Will not be. I will not be able to start morning batch because there's no time. But yes, evening batch will start from this Wednesday. Morning batch may be end of this month. Next month we will be starting morning batch. So
From
one
next
more
month.
thing, yeah, next month, yes. So one more thing is the only available time slot is 8:30 p.m. And if that is not suitable for you, then I think we don't have any other, at least I don't have any other slots because all other classes are going on. Uh, so I think people who are uh, already know Python, who know Python basic and advanced, I think Abhishek asked me. So, Abhishek, if you are learning code and advanced Python, and if you are very efficient in Python, I think you can join advanced. You can skip intermediate and join advanced. You can, I mean, obviously intermediate, if you can complete first, that will give you at least basic understanding. But without that, if you can, uh, it will be a little difficult for you if you directly jump into advanced. But somehow you can, like if you uh, like let's say NLP and Spark, you can very well understand. But when it comes to deep learning, I think there are little dependency on machine learning, few of the algorithms like regression and all. But NLP and Spark has no relations. You can understand. So the proper way is first complete intermediate and then go advanced. If you really want to skip intermediate and if you have that much confidence that you can understand machine learning by your own, then you are welcome. You can join advanced. In advanced, I am not covering Python. In the advanced, it is because we have so many other important things like NLP, Spark, and deep learning. So it is one of the prerequisites. So you have to complete Python by your own if you're joining advanced, because we are not going to, we can share previous batch recordings, Python batch. And I think Durga sir's videos are also available in YouTube. You can learn Python yourself and then you can come for the advanced course. Right, in intermediate, the morning batch 7:30, if somebody wants to join skip Python and join the intermediate, I think this is the very good chance for you. You can join the morning 7:30 a.m. batch immediately, because we already are going to cover Python. It is going to complete, and we are going to start with the core subjects like statistics and machine learning. Nothing has been covered. So only Python basics and Python basics and pandas is going on right now. Just we started pandas. So visualization is still there. Python visualization we are going to cover next. Pandas also we are going to cover. So all the important topics of Python followed by statistics and machine learning is there. Only basic Python we have completed for the morning 7:30 batch. So if some of you already know Python basics like list, tuple, set, dictionary, loops, functions, and all, if you know, and you want to learn pandas visualization followed by statistics machine learning, you can enroll for the morning batch and you can take the recordings of the like previous classes. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, Prashant this side. Actually, I have one question. Actually, I am from different domain, means completely from telecommunication domain. So I am looking for a change. So what this whether this course will suffice the requirement for a data science data scientist, means including this intermediate plus advanced.
Definitely. I'm very confident in the course. Every point, everything, whatever you are looking, it's not something copy pasted. It's designed by me. Every content, every point is when I include anything, the main objective was that, right? When I created this course content, my main objective is when you apply for a role for 5 years data science, what all are the requirements? And I can bet you just go to Naukri today or any platform, select, filter data science 5-year experience and see all the job descriptions. Most of the things that they are asking, you will, and then compare with the syllabus are covered in this. So I'm very very sure if you complete this syllabus very nicely by doing all the assignments and by doing projects, if you really understood this, you can very easily crack any any level of data science interview which requires something around 3 to 5 years. But do not expect 8 year, 9 year, 10 year team lead kind of position you cannot able to justify. But at least till 5 years level, you can very easily crack with advanced and intermediate. Everything is covered in this course in a detailed way.
Actually, actually, means till now my work experience is about 17, 18 years, no, near about 18, 20 years.
Yeah.
So whether at this point of time, means completing this course and competing with the data scientists which who are already there and who are going to become there. So whether I will be able to compete them and
So
get the
yeah.
opportunity, and what is the industry penetration right now, means how many industry or how many organizations are using this, and what is the scope for me, means what will it.
So yeah, I mean, there is no doubt, as I'm saying, right? Organization will be using AI tools in future, and the scope is huge for AI. There is no doubt in it. Like everything is going to be automated, so the scope is huge, so huge, like I cannot even tell. There is no doubt in it. But having said that, this course will only give you till 5 years level. No matter how many experience level you are in currently, you will be treated as not more than 5 years. You cannot justify more than 5 year experience level in data science after taking this course. So let's assume that you are having 20-year experience right now, but you can only showcase 3 to 5 years. Rest all experience you cannot hide. You have to I mean, if you are writing after taking this course, let's say 15 years in data science, you will not be able to crack the interviews. And you will be treated and you will be given a paycheck which is equivalent to 5-year data science salary what is there in the market, not more than that, not less than that, right? So you will be equivalent to a 5 years, a person who has spent 5 years in data science. All your past experience will not be counted. That is a sad truth, but that is what happening. And I'm not telling just stories here. I am working in an industry. You can check my LinkedIn profile. The industry is it's a manufacturing company. So all of my colleagues are like hardly out of 40 members, we 4 or 5, all the new hires, right, are from relevant background. Relevant means what? I'm from computer science. Few of my friends who are who are hired are from statistics. I mean, they have completed their MTech from ISI and all that. So they are from relevant background. Rest 30 to 35 means what? How many percentage? 90. More than 90% of our team members are from mechanical background. They are MTechs and all that, but from mechanical branch, not in computer science and in any other thing. And mechanical is definitely not a relevant domain, right? When you see data science, and they are working as a data scientist. But having said that, let's say as a data scientist, I have, let's say, prior to data science, I was into big data, as I told, right? So I started my career as a Hadoop engineer. After my master's, I jumped into data science world, honestly. So I have around, out of 8 years, I have only 4 year experience in data science and 4 year experience in big data. So only with 4 year experience, I am getting offers like staff data scientist, team lead kind of position in startups. But in very like good level companies, I'm getting a position of senior data scientist, staff data scientist kind of role. Whereas the persons who are working with me are having 10 year experience in software engineering and only 1 year or 2 year experience in data science are given a role of data scientist. So they are junior to me. That is how the industry will look, and that is the fact. That is what it is. But there is a, this is a bad thing about it, but the good thing is your initial goal should be to jump into data science. Once you are into data science, I think after 2 3 years, when you started working and you gain real time experience, you can twist your resume as you want, right? So that is there always. So let's say once you worked as a data scientist for 3 years, those 3 years, you see, my journey in data science is only 4 years, and I learned so many things in these 4 years. So you can also do that, and you can kind of, instead of 3 years, you can say 6 years or 7 years, right? So that way you can think, but initially that is what it is. So no matter how many years of software engineering or support or whatever experience you have, when you're applying for role, you will be judged based on your skill set, how much you know as a data scientist, whether your experience is fitting in 2 years or 5 years or 1 year or like 0 years. So based on that only you will be given positions. Your past software engineering experience will not be counted. Now based on that, you have to decide what is good for you.
Okay. And one more thing regarding the DBMS. So whether I have to learn DBMS separate, means SQL separately, or some data collection tools I have to learn separately other than this course.
Other than this course, you don't no need to learn anything. I mean, only if you know SQL basics. I think everybody knows SQL basics, how to write a select
Actually, it
query
is
and all.
long. Actually, means in the college time we learned it, and thereafter we forgot it.
That's okay. I
So
mean, we have always Google Stack Overflow. We can copy paste codes or write a select query in like, I mean, what I mean to say is, you know, you don't need an expert knowledge in SQL. Very simple knowledge. Only thing, see, I explained you the cycle, right? So as a data
yes,
scientist, you need SQL only when you are collecting the data, and you know how much SQL is needed to collect a data from database. That is what you need. You're not going to process the data using SQL. You have a different set of tools called pandas. We have Python and all other set of tools which we can use to process the data. And to build a model, we have set up separate tools, scikit-learn, machine learning. And for validation and deployment, we have set up rules. So nowhere SQL is there in the picture. I told you the entire life cycle. Only SQL is needed. First of all, most of the data that you are getting is not structured. Most of the time it will be semi-structured and unstructured. But let's say by luck you are getting structured data. Only thing as a data scientist you should know is how to collect data from SQL. That is what you need. And I think if you don't know anything about SQL, just if you type in Google, create a database connection, you will get a copy paste code, and then that code, only by doing slight changes, you can collect data from your server or database wherever it is. That's it. That is what you need. Not only SQL, for other databases, let's say MongoDB or Hive or HBase. No need to be expert in that, right? You are not a MongoDB developer. You are a person who just need to collect the data from different sources. That much knowledge is required.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Because actually, I'm not from the software background, and that's why there are so much queries there. I'm from
Yeah, that is
telecommunication
absolutely,
background. That's why, because this is
yeah, that,
not hands-on to me, and we're coding and etc. So right now it's not hands-on, but I started Python learning,
yeah,
so it will help me a lot. So whatever
sure,
the
sure.
queries you have resolved, this means it is a good to for me, and I will look forward for this course. And one more thing, whether this class will be in the 8 p.m. in the 8:30 p.m. in the evening. Suppose in any day I missed it out. So whether it will be uh, reconducted, or it will be given, or some video link will be given to me.
Yeah, not only that, every class will be recorded, and the recordings of all the class will be given to you. So, I mean, you can replay the videos later, and you can revise what we have completed in the class, right? So, all the class recordings will be provided, and it's a pretty organized kind of thing. So, there will be folders, coding, and then assignment, and then everything. So whatever we discussed in the class, the theory part, the coding followed by the recording, everything you'll be getting. Interview questions, software installation, resume tips, everything. There will be different folders where I am going to arrange everything. So
Okay,
everything will be shared with you.
okay, thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, I think if you don't have any queries, we can end the session, and feel free to write to DurgaSoft, and they can share your queries with me. I can answer them back. So the new batch, intermediate batch, we are planning to start from this Wednesday, 5th August. Timing will be 8:30, but I am little flexible, half an hour here and there. But if you all are okay, let's start at 8:30 p.m. IST. And morning batch, there is no availability right now. But once we complete this batch, maybe next month, we are going to start morning batch. And if somebody already very much efficient in Python, they don't want to learn Python again, want to learn the core concept starting from pandas, they can immediately join the morning 7:30 batch, right? And for advanced, I think you have to wait. Currently one advanced batch is running. Once that is finished, maybe next month again, morning the same time, 6:30 a.m. IST, we will start the advanced batch. Every day class will be there, Monday to Friday. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Question of the
Thank you.
hello.
Yeah, thank you all.